My husband is blind. Every day, I would walk around the house in light clothes. Sometimes there are not even any clothes at all. He would sit quietly on the couch, calm and composed. But I noticed something strange. His ears always turn red. Sometimes, they will even start bleeding for no apparent reason. This went on until one day, and I heard his heart. I should have told her that my eyes were actually pretty good. But her waist looks so soft. I wonder what it would be like to hug her. She has long legs. I wonder what it would be like for them to lean on my shoulder. "Stop," I shouted, rushing forward to cover his mouth, my heart pounding. I just got back from a nightclub. Physical and mental exhaustion. My dad was sitting on the couch. "Cross your arms and smile. I have good news for you," he said casually. "What is it?" I asked, still shocked by what I had just overheard. He calmly said that the company was bankrupt. "Dad, are you crazy? What are you talking about?" I asked incredulously. He smiled and waved to dispel my concerns. "Don't worry, there is a silver lining to everything." What a glimmer of hope. I had a bad premonition about it, I muttered to myself. The fear of architecture in my heart. He continued. "Caspian's family is preparing to marry you off." "When family?" I gasped. They had only one son, Caspian. He recently lost his sight in a car accident. I can't believe it! I had to marry a blind man. No way. I haven't played enough yet, I shouted protestingly. Before we continue with the story. So you're selling your daughter? My mind was racing. If I go to the Wynn family, I'll probably end up with a broken leg. How do I marry a blind man? 3 days later, I was tied up and thrown into a wedding car. At the wedding, the host asked, "Mr. Caspian, do you want to marry Miss Lyra?" The man in front of him with deep and cold eyes. His sophisticated, black suit. "I do," he said, his voice cold. "Lyra, Caspian." "Good. Lyra, what are you going to do?" Caspian. 10. Caspian. 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 The next morning. Caspian. 39. Siri, in the heat of the moment. Caspian. 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 No response. Caspian. 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 He didn't say anything. Caspian. What is it? I raised my hand. Caspian. Caspian. Lyra. Caspian. Over the next few days. Lyra. Caspian. Caspian. My eyes widened in disbelief. Caspian. 10. I ate half of the bread while the dog ate the other half in my arms. I couldn't believe I was fighting with a dog for food. I thought bitterly, "Caspian, it's all because of you." My dad didn't want me anymore and I cried. Tears welled up in my eyes. The dog licked my face as if trying to comfort me. "Get lost. Go away." I pushed the dog away. But Sloppy, the little one, writhed back into my arms, determined to stay with me. Here I am, a depraved rich girl wandering the streets. Can't find a job. I think I'd rather be arrested and sent to jail. At least there will be food there. After starving for a long time, I finally gave in. I got a job as a waitress at a bar. The puppy followed me, wagging his tail happily. "Have you heard that Caspian's new wife ran away?" A voice in the bar whispered. I know. Caspian's face was as black as the soles of his shoes. When he heard, the other replied, "Caspian is fantastic." "Why did she run away?" a customer asked. "Curious, can't help it, I guess." "Poor young girl," someone interjected. "Who knows," said another. But judging by Caspian's expression, I bet if they caught her, she would be tied up at home. I shivered when I overheard their conversation. Just then, a familiar figure walked into the bar. Asked with the phone, "Have you ever met this girl? This is the people of Caspian." I immediately stopped serving drinks and tried to escape. But the people in the stalls behind me persevered. "Where are our drinks?" "Waiter. You, the skinny little guy who looks like a praying mantis." When I tried to leave, my arm was grabbed. "Where are our drinks?" "Why do you look so familiar?" I was desperate to escape. Panicky, I kicked it out with my foot and then turned and ran. "Lyra, I recognize her," someone shouted. "Quick, Catch her. Caspian will reward us richly. Caspian, you scoundrel. I muttered to myself as I rushed towards the narrow staircase. I shouted as I ran. It's all because of you. I feel like a wanted criminal now. Ill-fitting overalls hindered my steps. And despair. I quickly ripped off my tight skirt, then continued running down the stairs. But when I turned a corner, a hand reached out and covered my mouth firmly. At the same time, I was pulled back. Got you, a low. Hoarse voices echoed through the dark, empty stairwell. The sound is creepy. I found myself being taken by a tall, warm body. It seems to be deeply embedded in the arms of people. Caspian, I tried to shout, but my jaw was lifted. Better. He warns that it hurts if you struggle. The next moment, he kissed me hard. He bit my lip as he did so. I was kissed and succumbed. Out of breath. I've been resisting both hands. Gradual limping gives the illusion of submissiveness. Time seems to stand still in the stairwell. Only the sound of our rushing heartbeat. Ambiguous sucking sounds. The air was filled with the rustle of clothes. This is punishment. Caspian finally stopped. Our noses almost touched, and he gasped for air. When I looked up, tears welled up in my eyes. It's all your fault. My dad didn't want me anymore, I sobbed. Caspian raised a hand and wiped the corner of my mouth. Well, blame me for whatever you want. Never mind. I have you now. Hearing this, I woke up from my stupor. Why did you kiss me? I asked, struggling to break free and move backwards. Your eyes never really hurt, right? You lied to me, I shouted in disbelief. Oh, so you found out, Caspian said, glancing at me completely unmoved. You this, I roared. My panties are exposed in front of you. So what? Caspian stood, his tall figure looming in front of me. After all, we are married. But I don't like you, I protest. It doesn't matter. You're going to like me eventually. Caspian replied confidently. He walked up to me and crouched down. Gently hold my chin. His dark eyes were like deep lakes. He unfastened the tie on his chest and wrapped it around my wrist. Then he picked me up without saying a word. We're going home, he declared firmly. Wait, can I sit next to the driver? I asked, trying to be polite, as my last attempt to put some distance between us. Even in the car, I was still held in Caspian's arms. His scent completely enveloped me. It's overwhelming. No, you can't, Caspian said. He bowed his head. His fingers ran through my hair. His lips began to droop, as if to kiss me again. I immediately turned my head away. I sold my skills, not my body. Give up, I told him firmly, trying to assert myself. What a pity, Caspian replied, his tone melancholy. Although he didn't try to kiss me again. I tried to listen for any signs he thought. I wonder how I can't hear his heartbeat anymore. What was the man thinking? I was immersed in my thoughts, and we went back to the house. Caspian brought me into the house in the style of a princess. Don't run around like that in the future, Caspian said. His voice was stern. He paused, then added, your father. Don't mention him to me, I shouted. The more I thought about it, the angrier I became. Am I even his own daughter already? Ever since my mom died, he has been unbearable. He even sold me to you. The more I thought about it, the more I felt aggrieved. I sobbed in frustration. Now I'm fighting dogs for food. Caspian was silent for a moment. It was as if he had something to say, but decided not to. Instead, he just pulled me into a hug. It doesn't matter, he whispered. From now on, you can try to count on me. Lie on top of you. I might as well rely on my puppy. I thought bitterly. At least this dog isn't as twisted as you are. I silently added. There seems to be no escaping this. I used to work as a waiter in a bar, wandering the streets. But I guess I'd better stay at Caspian's house. At least there will be food and drinks. I made up my mind. If he wants to hug me, let him hug me. If he wants to kiss me, let him kiss me. It was surprisingly comfortable to be held by him. It didn't take long for me to fall asleep. I must admit that he is very good at kissing. When we kissed, he sat in a chair, pulled me into his lap casually. I hooked my arm around his neck. Soon I fell asleep. But in the middle of the night, I woke up feeling very hot. I realized The air conditioning in the master bedroom was broken. I just slept on the floor. It will be cooler, I thought to myself. After lying on the floor for 10 seconds, my back hurts. I can't take it anymore. I pushed open the door to the guest bedroom. There, I was met with a cool breeze. Comfortable, I whispered, Lyra. Caspian's voice shouted from the bed, as he fumbled to turn on the bedside lamp. What's wrong? Today? I checked feng shui on my phone. It says that the feng shui in the master bedroom is not good. Let's change rooms. You go to the master bedroom, I'll hurry up. Before Caspian objected, I pushed him out of the room, then locked the door behind me. Air conditioning. Here I am, I whispered, relieved. But before I celebrated for 2 seconds, the locked door shook suddenly. I heard the sound of a key coming in and turning. Before I could react, the door opened. Caspian walked over to the bed. His name is Lyra. I buried my head in the blanket, pretend to be half asleep. I am tired. Stop messing around. Go back to sleep, I muttered. The next moment, the bed slowly sank. I was hugged with the blanket. Roll over, Caspian whispered. I struggled. I thought, how can I sleep with a man? That's my bottom line. But as I continued to struggle, I realized something. Wait a minute. It's actually quite comfortable. I lifted my legs and placed them on Caspian's waist. Snuggle up in his arms like a doll. Felt very safe. I haven't felt this comfort since I was 5 years old. After my mom left. Well, just hug for the night, I muttered to myself. Slept soundly, completely oblivious to the smug smile on Caspian's face. In the dark, I slept until 7 o'clock. When I woke up, Caspian was gone. I got out of bed and went outside to walk the dog, play with cats. Even the old people who practiced Tai Chi were joined. Girl, don't learn this from me. I'm afraid you're going to hurt yourself, he said with a laugh. I stretched stiffly, accidentally kicked over the railing. When I hold it up, I suddenly noticed a familiar figure across the street. He is tall and wears a black trench coat. He smiled warmly and charmingly, while chatting with an old lady on the side of the road. But when he turned around and saw me, his smile vanished instantly. My heart was racing. My feet began to follow him. Alan, Alan, I shouted. The man reluctantly stopped and gave me a cold look. What is it? He asked sharply. I asked nervously, clutching my clothes. How have you been doing lately? Thanks to you? Not bad, Alan replied. Frowning, he took a step back. We haven't seen each other in a long time. Can we have a meal together? I plucked up the courage to ask. Alan was the one I had a crush on for 4 years. Unfortunately, he has always liked others. After the college entrance examination, he asked me to send a love letter to the girl. The next day, I tried to explain, but the girl had already gone abroad. Alan somehow heard that I had a crush on him, so he ruined that love letter. If not you, Wendy will stay, Alan once told me. Biting my nails, I started apologizing again. I'm sorry, but I really didn't tear up that love letter. Enough is enough, Alan interrupted him coldly. We shouldn't see each other again in the future. I stood there stunned. I'm so stupid, all I can say is I'm sorry. But my words don't prove my innocence. Do you still hold a grudge against me? I asked softly. Panic rose in my heart. Alan did not respond to my invitation to dinner. And so he walked away. About that love letter. I was about to say it, but Alan interrupted me, his voice cold. Don't bother. He turned and was about to leave again. In desperation, I reached out and grabbed his hand. Alan, wait, let go. He said firmly. Shake off my hand, as if it disgusted him. I fell to the ground. The man paused for only a moment. He looked back at me coldly. Then he walked away without saying a word. I sat there for a long time. Tears stung my eyes, until a figure appeared in front of me. Are you hurt? Caspian asked. His cold brow furrowed in worry. When he crouched down and helped me up, take me home, until I lay in bed. I realized what was happening. Caspian, why don't you go to work? I asked, my voice trembling slightly. Caspian lowered his head and blew gently on my wound. I forgot my papers, he replied. Then he lifted my foot to his knee. His left hand held it in place. When he applies iodine with his right hand, disinfect the scratch area. If it hurts, you can scream, he whispered. Why don't you get your secretary back? And get them? I asked. But Caspian did not answer. He was engrossed in cleaning my wounds. His movements were incredibly gentle. I stared at him, and I felt bitter in my heart. I didn't ruin that love letter, Caspian. I whispered. Do you believe me? The man paused. I believe you, he finally said. Caspian and I used to be high school classmates. It was during that time that I pursued Alan. When I woke up, Lyra. I bowed my head. Caspian. Lyra. My brain went blank. Caspian. Caspian. Said my dad deserved it. My father, the one who never found the right course. Attend parent-teacher conferences. Whoever appeared in the wrong grade. When I was in 11th grade, when he finally found the right score, he went to the wrong school entirely. If my mom was still around, she would scold him for it. On the day of the college entrance examination, he kept urging me to hurry up and finish. Complained about the parking fee being too expensive. He told me not to worry about whether I passed the exam or not. He will hand over the company to me. Caspian hugged me tighter. Lyra, he whispered softly. Every time I wake up from a nightmare, Caspian was always there to say, Lyra, I am here. He would pour me a cup of hot water. Watch me drink it all. Then gently wipe the drops off your lips. Go to sleep, he would whisper. Pull me into his arms again. In the dark, I watched Caspian fall asleep. He frowned. His face was exhausted. Originated from the constant flow between companies and hospitals. I began to wonder if my presence in his life was correct or wrong. One day, my dad asked, How are you and Caspian getting along? My dad leaned against the head of the bed. Eat the apples I peeled for him. He looked curious. It doesn't matter, I guess, I replied. You'd better hurry up and give me a grandchild. My dad said, grinning and handing me peeled oranges. How is this possible? I shouted in disbelief. I'm so pretty, handsome, and cheerful. Suitors travel the world twice a year, just to chase me. I stood up dramatically. You don't know, Dad. Caspian is too clingy. He was always worried that I would be kidnapped. He kept hugging and kissing me. It's really annoying. He didn't know when to stop. Just as I finished roaring, I noticed Dad's amused expression. Induction failures. I turned around. I found Caspian standing behind me. Cross your arms. Look at me calmly. Sticky, always hugging and kissing you. Don't know when to stop. Caspian chimed in. I smiled awkwardly. I'm just messing with my dad. That night, when we got home, Caspian hugged me. Lie on the bed and kiss me as I laugh and protest. I'm just kidding. Caspian let go. As my father's health gradually improved, he mentioned if I really don't like Caspian, he can find someone else for me. I hesitated for a moment before replying, and we'll talk about it later. One day, when I was taking my medicine, I met Alan. Are you okay? Are you sick? I hurried closer to him, trying to hold his arm, but he distanced himself. Lyra, I don't want to say it again. My business has nothing to do with you. Don't come to me. Alan said coldly and turned to leave. As Alan walked away, a hand suddenly pulled me back. Lyra, stay here. Caspian strode towards us, commanding. Turn on his phone. Caspian plays a video in front of Alan. That's surveillance footage. The one Caspian asked the squad leader to find. Show Alan's best friend. Secretly rummaging through my bag. And tear up love letters. This leads to all the misunderstandings. Caspian reached out and put his arm around me. Lyra and I are married, he said firmly. Lyra is here to clear up the misunderstanding. If you don't believe it, then you are a fool who is easily misled by others. Alan's whole body trembled. I believe you. He finally confessed, as the truth that has been delayed for almost 10 years. It dawned on him. Lyra Alan stammered apologies. I'm sorry. His late apology was tiring. We're still friends, okay? Alan asked. His voice was full of regret. He tried to contact me, but Caspian pushed him away and said, "I told you we were married. She is now my wife." Caspian lowered his head and added, "Let's go." I stared at Caspian in disbelief. My heart was beating uncontrollably. When we got home, I realized that. I turned to Caspian and thanked him. "Thank you," I whispered. "No," Caspian replied, glanced at me unexpectedly. He pulled me closer, lowered his head, and kissed me. "Take that as a gesture of gratitude," he whispered. I felt a sudden tingling in my chest, and quickly pushed him away. I went back to my room, and I grunted and walked out. "Oh no, I think I've fallen in love with Caspian," I thought to myself. Later that night, I texted my best friend, excitedly sharing my thoughts. Sometimes he is handsome and authoritative, but then when I texted, I see a message in a group chat. Mention my name. When I clicked on it, my heart skipped a beat. "Isn't Lyra the same person who fell into the water before?" "Yes," she said. "Alan saved her." But the conversation continued and my heart sank. My grandma turned out to be mistaken. She saw Caspian at the hospital today and mentioned that he was the one who saved a girl who fell into the water. Suddenly, everything became clear. A deep sense of absurdity and collapse filled me. I've loved Alan for 4 years now. Believe. All along, he was the one who saved me. But it was a misunderstanding. Always Caspian. How intertwined our destinies have been from the beginning. When I realized this, a wave of clarity swept over me. Everything was wrong. I was looking for the wrong person. Actually, it was Caspian who was there all along. Do I really start to like Caspian now? Absent-mindedly holding a stuffed animal, I watched Caspian come out of the bathroom. Just finished taking a shower and went into battle shirtless. I sneaked a glance at him, feeling embarrassed. "If you want to see it, open your eyes," Caspian teased as he dried himself with a towel. He casually tossed it into the laundry basket and added, "Why am I just peeking here?" Without saying a word, I turned and left. Caspian climbed into bed and approached me. "Are you crazy?" he asked softly. "No," I said, suddenly feeling uneasy. "Why you've always been so nice to me?" I asked, my voice almost whispering. "You are my wife," Caspian replied, hugging me from behind. After a long silence, I turned around and kissed Caspian on the cheek. When I tried to pull away, the sound of his heavy breathing stopped me. He pulled me into a deeper kiss. "Why are you so edgy today?" he asked in a low voice. Silent, I turned around and straddled him. "Don't speak, just kiss me," I whispered. Caspian was taken aback. "Lyra," he whispered. The air between us felt thick and heavy. Later, as I lay in the bathtub, I exclaimed, "Caspian, what did you eat to grow so big?" He gently rubbed my head and replied softly, "You." I giggled, "Dad, what do you think if I tell Caspian about it? He's going to want to kill me." My dad laughed, "How stingy. Bring some fruit to visit your elderly. Tell him what you think." I hesitated for a moment. "Actually, it's Dad. That's when I'm going to arrange a wedding for you." I started talking. Halfway through, however, Caspian stepped in. He said he had secretly admired you for a long time. I was taken aback. "What?" When my dad shrugged. "He told me he had liked you since high school. He calls you his youngest son. A person who brings positivity to his life." He sounded a bit formal, but I could tell he was sincere. "He even promised to love you forever." My dad continued. "Ever since I knew his father, I arranged for the two of you to be together." My dad casually ate a banana. It's like he didn't drop a bomb on me just now. I couldn't believe what I was hearing, but I walked away slowly, not knowing what to say. My heart feels like a soft, sour fruit, thick juice dripping from my body. I've been secretly in love since high school. It all started when Caspian transferred to my school. I had been courting Alan at the time. Caspian has always seen it. How much his heart must have hurt. I hurried home, anxiously waiting for Caspian to return. As soon as he entered, I hugged him tightly. "What's wrong?" Caspian asked, confused. I haven't said anything in a long time. Just catch him. Finally, I spoke. "I'm sorry I ran away before. You've been looking for me for so long. Caspian smiled and patted me on the head. It's not your fault. I'm sorry to think of the guy who saved me. It was Alan then. I added, Stop, Lyra. Caspian said, bowing his head and kissing me. Look, we're together now. That's good enough. As for those years, those misunderstandings, I don't think they matter anymore. He continued softly. As long as you know I love you. Just then, Alan showed up at the hospital. Chased me to apologize and ask for forgiveness. Sorry, Lyra. It's all my misunderstanding. Can we still be friends? Alan asked, standing in front of me with a bouquet of flowers in hand. Dressed like he was back then. Wear a simple white shirt. Bright smile. But now I'm just feeling sick. It's too late, Alan. I'm married. So no, I said firmly. Since then, you choose to cover your ears. Don't listen to any explanations. Now the truth is revealed. What's the point of uncovering your ears again? I asked him. Lyra, me. Alan tried to get closer to me and reached out to hug me. I'm really sorry, I said, taking a step back and feeling dizzy. Something I've been longing to hear for years. Sorry for the sudden pointlessness. If there's a misunderstanding, I don't care. I'm married to Caspian. Don't look for me anymore, I said, my voice unwavering. Lyra, your marriage to him is just an alliance. You can't possibly like him. You've liked me for so many years, right? Alan asked, still trying to defend him. I've changed my mind now, I replied. As long as you agree. I'll divorce Caspian and marry you right away. Who says I don't like Caspian? I shot back. He was rich and kind. Sorry, it's time for you to go now. When I turned around, I noticed Caspian leaning against a nearby car door. I don't know how long he's been listening. Our eyes met, and I quickly looked away. What did you just say? Rich and kind. Caspian asked with a smug smile. What is that? My face flushed with embarrassment. Not. You heard me wrong, I stammered. Let's talk about it. At home, my father's condition has stabilized. The next month, I brought him a report. A male approaching 60 years of age. The first time I saw him in tears. When he found out he had cancer, he didn't cry. During chemotherapy. But when he saw that I was pregnant, his eyes welled up with tears. I wanted to come up with a name for him. Let's call him Winnie. My dad said. Smile in his tears. I remember that. Lyra must have been the name he picked for me. It sounds like a name that gives you strength. Even in winter. Caspian hugged me and said, Lyra, let's name him Honey. In high school, after Caspian finished playing basketball, he wiped the sweat from his shirt. Suddenly I saw me smiling. When I handed Alan a bottle of water, Caspian suddenly felt thirsty, but he refused all the water offered to him. If I don't get water, it's okay, that's what he thought at the time. Just before the 1,000-meter race of the games, I returned his numbering plate to Caspian and waved. Cheer him on. Do all in one's power. If you're too tired, don't push yourself. Take a break, I said. Caspian smiled at me. Everyone told him to fight for the first place. Bring glory to the class. But unexpectedly, there used to be people who were just thinking about him. Happiness. All right, Caspian said to himself. When he stepped onto the track, glancing into the distance, the sun was just right. Caspian was immersed in his own thoughts. When he was in that game, realize what a small act of kindness I am. It had an impact on him. He remembers all the times I cheered him on. In those moments, before I knew it, I had become an important person in his life. A few months passed, and my pregnancy progressed. Caspian's concern for me deepened. He was always attentive. Make sure I'm comfortable. And there is never a shortage of anything. My father's condition has improved. I often visit him. One day, my dad said, You know, Lyra, I think Caspian is a good guy. He really cares about you. I nodded, feeling warm in my heart. I know, Dad, I replied softly. Caspian and I have come a long way. Since our arranged marriage, the awkwardness between us is gone. Instead, there is a sense of understanding and mutual respect. Although our journey was anything but traditional, I realized that Caspian was always there for me. even if I didn't notice. One night, when we were lying in bed, Caspian pulled me closer and kissed me on the forehead. "Lyra, do you still want to leave me? Once your dad's company is restored?" he asked. His voice was gentle, but with a hint of vulnerability. I hesitated for a moment before replying. "I do not know." Caspian sighed softly, his arms wrapped tightly around me. "I want you to stay," he whispered. "Not because of the company, but because I'm in love with you, Lyra." His confession left me speechless. I always thought Caspian was distant and cold, but over time, his true feelings have become apparent. Now I hear him say he loves me. Makes my heart swell, with emotions that I hadn't fully recognized before. "I think I'm in love with you too." I acknowledged my voice, barely above a whisper. Caspian smiled and kissed me tenderly in response. As the months passed, we grew closer. Our bonds are growing day by day. Eventually, I realized the original arranged marriage. It has blossomed and become something real, something meaningful. Caspian has always been the only constant in my life, the one who always cared about me, even when I didn't see it. Now I can't imagine my life without him.